Why did you decide to cut your parents out of your life? My parents threw me a surprise 30th birthday party. Sounds sweet, right? Wrong. I should have known something was off when they insisted on planning everything themselves. For weeks, my mom kept asking these weird, probing questions like, how are you feeling lately? And, are you sleeping okay? And, have you been making any big decisions? I thought she was just being a caring mother, maybe worried about me living alone. The party was at their house, and when I walked through the front door, I was genuinely shocked. Literally everyone I knew was there. My boss from work, all my coworkers, college friends I hadn't seen in years, high school acquaintances I barely kept in touch with, neighbors from my apartment building, even my ex-boyfriend from 3 years ago, who I'd only dated for 6 months. It felt overwhelming and bizarre, like someone had collected every person from my entire life. Everyone kept giving me these weird, uncomfortable looks. Not happy birthday looks, more like concerned, pitying stares mixed with awkward sympathy. People kept approaching me with this overly gentle tone, asking if I was doing okay and hanging in there, and saying they were here for me if I needed anything. I had absolutely no idea what they meant, but it was making me increasingly anxious. Then my best friend Jess grabbed my arm and pulled me into the kitchen. Her face was completely pale and her hands were literally shaking. Sarah, you need to see this right now. I'm so sorry, but you have to know. She handed me her phone with trembling fingers. There was a group chat called Intervention for Sarah with 47 members. My stomach completely dropped to the floor. I scrolled up to see when it started 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks of my mother systematically destroying my reputation and manipulating everyone I cared about. The messages were horrifying. She told my boss I was having severe mental health issues and should be closely monitored. She warned coworkers I was unstable and potentially dangerous. She told college friends I was spiraling and refusing help, contacted my ex claiming I was obsessed, and even told my neighbors I was acting erratically and asked them to watch my apartment. But the worst part, she'd been calling my therapist's office pretending to be me, trying to get information about my sessions. She told people I was refusing help and in denial about my problems. I kept scrolling, week after week of lies. She convinced everyone I was having a mental breakdown that existed only in her imagination. She even shared examples of my erratic behavior, like me changing jobs last year or going on a solo vacation. My hands were shaking as I read message after message. She'd turned my entire social circle into her personal surveillance network. Every conversation I'd had, every plan I'd made, every decision I'd shared, it all got reported back to her. The surprise party wasn't a celebration. It was her grand finale. She'd gathered everyone to stage an intervention for problems that didn't exist, making herself look like the concerned mother trying to save her troubled daughter. I walked back into the living room where 40 people were staring at me with pity and concern. My mom stood up with this practiced fake worried expression. Honey, we're all here because we love you so much, and we're worried about you. We think you need help, and we want to support you through this difficult time. The room was dead silent. Everyone nodded along, completely convinced by her performance. I held up Jess's phone. I know about the group chat, Mom. Her face collapsed. The fake concern vanished, replaced by pure panic. She went pale, silent. I know every lie, every person you turned against me, every line you crossed like it didn't matter. I turned to the room. There's no intervention, there's no crisis, just a woman who needed control so badly, she manufactured one. People shifted uncomfortably. Some pulled out their phones. I saw the change ripple across their faces. Confusion, guilt, then anger. My boss looked like he'd been punched. I handed Mom her phone open to her own vile words. This, I said, is the last conversation we'll ever have. She opened her mouth to protest, to spin it, to beg, but I was already walking away. If anyone wants the truth, I said, turning back once, ask me. I have nothing to hide. But if you stay in her web, don't expect me to untangle you. Then I walked out, and for the first time in years I felt free.